What's up, everybody? K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405, where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Be so kind to hit that like button, that subscribe button. Can't wait to hear you guys' comments later on. They might check it out. That's checking it out live, and they will be checking it out, checking this My Thoughts video or stream. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Okay, I guess you can still hear me. Yeah, because I don't have it. Whatever. It's all good. Let me just turn it up anyway, because I want y'all to make sure y'all hear me. But yeah, I can't wait to hear you guys' comments on this. And listen, Spider-Man, what's going on with you, brother? Appreciate you being here. Let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and just get this out of the way. I was going to make another video. It was going to be a little bit later today, but it was going to be regards about Killer Instinct 2, about what somebody said about, I may have thought about it, and I wanted to give my thoughts about that, but then this dropped, and I'm like, man, and I was like, man, before I go and do my water aerobics, I was like, all right, let me go ahead and throw this down, man. I gotta talk about this real quick. Excuse me. This is disappointing. This is disappointing. Not because it's 4K 30 frames per second, right? And if anybody that doesn't know that's checking this out now, Redfall, the Arcane announced that Redfall is going to be launching on Xbox consoles with quality mode only, which is going to be 4K 30 on the Series X and 1440p 30 on the Series S. 60 frames per performance mode will be added via game update at a later date, right? All right, so this is what's caused a lot of outcry, right? And my only issue, well, there's two issues here that I have, right? One is the timing. The timing is ass. We could just go back to Redfall. To Starfield. Starfield, they already let you know that the game is going to be 30 frames per second. Now, I think that they might work to get it to 60 frames per second. But from January 18th, I believe that was one of the last times that we've heard anything about Starfield, that it was going to be 30 frames per second. I am not a person that trips out about 30 frames per second single player games. I do not. You know, if you followed me, you know me. I've gone back and forth with Fonzarelli, with Steel Rain, in fact, me and Steel Rain, we're not having an argument or nothing, but we're just having a conversation in the DMs, and I need to check and see what his response was back to me for what I was saying, because I don't trip out about 30 frames per second single player games. But what I've always said, I mean, I've had this discussion with Dealer and all other people out there about, you know, because there is a difference, but it's not the end of the world if it's a single player game. But fighters, shooters, racers, that's got to be the standard. 60 has got to be the standard for that. 60 and higher got to be the standard. And the second problem is, because the first problem is the timing. This is bad. We already, like I said, we already know about Starfield. Starfield's going to be 30, might be 60 later on, whatever the case may be. We already know. They made that established. Why the hell that this wasn't established at the beginning of the year to already let people soften the blow? They do this now. That's a fail. That is a big ass L. You do not tell what's going on with you, Punty. What's happening with you, bruh? You do not do this. After you getting the hot, it's like you're kicking the can of negativity down the road because of, I don't know. I don't know. Because this isn't like anything new. It's what I've been trying to explain to people from the get. We're still going to get 30 frames per second games. It doesn't matter how capable the hardware is. If there's one thing that I agree with Don with 100% on this, is that the developers, if they feel that the game, it works best, plays best at 30 frames per second, then let them do it. It's okay. But let people know, because you give out they give out at one end information about, well, our consoles, and this is not just the Series X, even though it's the more powerful console out of all the consoles out there, but the PlayStation 5 as well. The SSDs enhances and without the power of the PlayStation 5 and all that. But this ain't about PlayStation because PlayStation don't have this game. This is about Xbox. The most powerful console out there, all this other stuff, right? But we still get 30 frames per second games. It's going to happen. When the next generation comes, when the Pro, if both of these consoles this generation gets Pros, there'll still be games that will probably pump out at 30 frames per second. Towards the end of the generation, you'll have your options, or games will just pump out at 60 frames per second. But every launch, and people I know have said, like, it's 3 years in the generation. Really, technically, it's not, in a sense, because of the pandemic. I know people already want to let the pandemic go, but the pandemic did a lot of damage. So this is going to be a slower, more paced type of generation because of that. And these developers are now starting to get back informed. These guys were making these games during the pandemic. Now, some studios was making games well before, and so they could catch back up and they can already be ahead of schedule or catch up or whatever. That's the reason for the delays. But I get it, right? But no. Axios, there's a lot of games that's been put in a bad light. Nah, this isn't nothing new. Now, if you might be new to this, but I can't let you ride on that one. No, I can't remember a game getting such a bad. No. There was games getting. I remember Sea of Thieves. I remember Crackdown 3. I remember tons. If it's an Xbox game that's an exclusive, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to get. Gears 5 was one of the worst in the sense of a game that had really strong hype, and they and the stands were just trying to decimate that game. Even had Xbox gamers questioning, well, dang man, the demo was a 720p, and man, we ain't heard anything about the story yet, and all of this and all of that. Now, the Gears 5 to me was probably the worst because they tried to test it, and then when Gears 5 dropped. But see, the damage was already done because they already gave this narrative, and that's another point to this. The second part of this that makes this that gets on my damn nerves is to keep these stupid narratives and keep these stands relevant. God damn, what the hell? The 30 frames per second thing should have already been established, and nobody would. Who cares? They told us this at the beginning of the year, but you tell us now in 2 weeks before this game launch, 2.5 weeks? This is what I'm talking about. Because I just did my video last week talking about Xbox. Now it's the time. You have to advertise it. And how ironic, when I talked about High Five Rush, right? How that game should be talked about and projected and seen and looked. That game has no flaws. That game has absolutely no flaws. It came out perfect. Perfect. High Five Rush is so much better than what anybody that has not played this game can. It's so good, so good. That's why I said it's right now at this point it should definitely be up there as a game of the year contender. High Five Rush is that damn good. Yes, it is, and I would debate anybody about that. But the thing right here is that another thing too, and I'm glad that you brought this up because we'll find out more information about this as this goes along, right? Is one of the reasons why they don't have the performance mode is because they wanted to take care of the DRM situation first. And if that's the case, then you people that was out there bitching about DRM, this is not 2013. Damn it, stop it. Stop it. Most games that you play has some form of DRM. And if that's one of the reasons why they don't have this other 60 frames per second mode on here, then the only person you need, and if you're bitching about this, then you need to look yourself in the mirror because you caused this. Now, I don't know. But if this happens, And that was the reason why they delayed this 60 frames per second mode. And they might have felt like, well, bro, you know, the IGN thing didn't look that good. We gotta make this game look popping. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe this wasn't already in the cards. Maybe the DRM mode had nothing to do with it. I have no idea. And listen, right, the game should have been delayed again. And it goes back to another thing I've been saying. Another thing I've been saying to people. And listen, Uncle K, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm an older man here. Yeah, I get it. I know. You know what I'm saying? Some people think I'm kind of wacky and crazy. You know what I'm saying? This old guy coming up here telling you about gaming and shit like that. But you need to listen to Uncle K Mega. When I tell you guys, because I argue with people all the time about this, stop showing this shit extra early. Show it when it's ready. Show it when it's ready. If you know that if it's going to be in that year timeline, okay, keep it at that. Now, some of these games will definitely have to get a pass, like I said, and I know some people like, I'm not giving it a pass because of the pandemic. Listen, if you was affected by the pandemic, just think about what these big corporations had to go through dealing with the pandemic. Stop that. Stop that garbage. You know what I'm saying? Me and Don argue about that a few times. Stop that. Just because your ship worked fine right there, but I don't think you got like 1,000 some people working for you. If you do, kudos. The fact of the matter is that these people got huge amount of people working for them, working on these games, and that shit shut down countries. Not certain areas. It shut down countries. So it's going to affect. There's places here that's been standing for ever since since I moved into this neighborhood. These places have been, or drove around. Like some of these businesses that were here were older than me. They're gone. There's a lot of them gone. Shut down, finito, kitens, out of there. Like, you know, whatever. So I don't want to hear that the pandemic didn't affect anything, because it did. Affected a lot of stuff. I think personally though, if the game's got to be delayed, the game's got to be delayed. I'm all for delays. Like, you know, make the game come out to be the best that it can be. Is this 30 frames per second situation is the end of the world? No, it's not. Like you've heard me go crazy about people acting a fool about Gotham Knights. Play the damn game. You'll know the game is great. But then on the flip side, then they all like, oh, praise it. What's the game? Plague's Tale. Oh, you gotta play Plague's Tale. It's excellent. 30 frames per second. It's 30 frames per second. So that's not the issue. 30 frames per second is not the issue here in that in the sense of the overall sense of things to me. Now to you it might be, and that's fine. But to me it's not. The problem is the messaging, is the timing of this, and also if since it's a shooter, a multiplayer shooter at that. If it's a single player shooter, 30 frames, it is what it is. We're gonna get it looking crispy, 4K, quality mode. All right, cool, whatever. But it's a multiplayer game, and a multiplayer shooter at that. And if it's that, then it needs to be 60. It needs to be 60. Fighters, shooters, racers. And also, another thing too, and I seen Killer Brill posted that. I don't know if I could find it. But I did want to kind of go through some of the comments on here that when I posted this, because I kept it real. You know, like some people are like, oh, nigga, you a shield for Xbox. Look, I'm an Xbox dude. I don't hide that. I'm proud of me being an Xbox first gamer. That's me. I ain't tripping about that. But if they do something like this, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if they're new to the team or not. Arcane, this is garbage. And yes, this is happening all over the place, right? It's happening all over the place. Now it's going to be funny, and I don't know. And like I said, I'm not even mentioning PlayStation, because I want to on certain situations, but I'm not. This is all Xbox. But I keep it real, and I'm keeping it real here now. You know what I'm saying? The haters will have a field day with this one. Can't put a $70 game. That's my other issue. Is the goddamn $70 price tag. You know what I'm saying? You can't put a $70 price tag on a shooter that isn't 60 frames per second. Game Pass will soften the blow, but then you're going to have Game Pass labeled yet again. You're going to, your Game Pass fodder. And I get the grander scheme of things. Like when the one thing when people come back is like, well, Twitter and social media is not the all end all. They're not everybody, but it's a big chunk. And word of mouth is word of mouth. In my video that I said last week, talking about Xbox, it's the time. It's time to get the marketing. It's time to start letting people know about these games. It's time to start pushing it. Because, like I said, I seen that nerdy ass dude had some pretty girl, and they was down, and then the girl said she played on the Xbox One, and they were like, what? And this dude had 3 million subs. That's a lot of people that pays attention to this cat, regardless of how corny I think he is. You know what I'm saying? He's around my son and daughter's age, so he got nothing to do with me. I'm not watching this shit. I just so happen to see it in the clip. But there's a lot of people that's watching them. And that's the attention that Xbox gains because they aren't out there being as aggressive with their marketing, right? That's what my video was about last week. And then this here. We gotta follow the trend. $70 price tag. This ain't worth $70, Jack. It ain't. And you know how I've been adamant about that. I don't care if it's Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, you know what I'm saying, PC, whatever. If the game has got some features that's not available that normally would be for a game like whatever that's coming out, and you charge $70, and no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Game Pass is the saving grace for this game, in my opinion, right now. This game, and I'm not saying this game is going to be bad, because I'm not saying that at all. I think the game is going to be cool. It's got a cool premise. It's got a lot of potential behind it. Yes, the IGN thing did not look good. I get that. But IGN was very unprofessional with how they delivered that. All those edits, the person who was playing it was garbage. The whole setup was just nasty. So that, you know what I'm saying, while everybody else, now I get granted, you know, because one of the pushbacks with me was like, well, they couldn't show their own gameplay. Okay, cool. So for the people, but there's only like been 1 or 2 people that's been said anything negative about the game. Everybody else has said the game's got a lot of potential. The game plays fine, had some bugs or whatever, because it was an earlier build or whatever the case may be. But the game visually looked good, all that other stuff. If all these other, because there's tons of other videos out there other than the IGN video, right? And these people have said what they've said, right? Now, again, because of the IGN video, and now this game can't win. Doesn't matter. And doesn't matter. And by the time that they do launch this performance mode, even if the game is great, right? Like even if the game is absolutely slapping, ain't gonna matter, because that shit ain't gonna come out until at the end of the year or next year. If it's coming out like within like 3 months, because like I said, that's kind of like the grace period of like when people are playing these games, they're getting in, they're doing whatever. It's too many games coming out this year to try to try to jump back on, because like look, Halo's getting back into doing what it's doing. You know, the third party games are going to be dropping. It's just too many games right here, and that to me that's the problem. That there's too many good games that's going to be coming out, that's going to be garnering people's $70 and attention, regardless if this game's on Game Pass or not, but attention. And this is a new title, so you need to be out here doing more than this. This should have been already established. So the haters would have said what they had to say, get it out the way, and move on. Just like with Starfield, if that's going to be 30 frames per second, which they said that was on January 18th, so be it. I can't wait. I can't wait. Bring it. I'll be there. I'll be playing it either on my PC or I'll be playing it on my Xbox. I might be playing it on both. Regardless, I'll still get my Xbox achievement for me playing it on either one. Thank goodness to play anywhere. And another thing too, like I said what Killer Brill said. I was going to try to look for that. But what Killer Brill said was pretty damn interesting. And that was somebody that posted it in the DMs, and I'm not going to take you to those DMs because it gets kind of messy in there. But he basically said that you showed this game being played on a PC at 60 frames per second, and this game is now going to be pushed out on the consoles at 30 frames per second. Now, this is the one thing I do agree with Rain on 100%, still Rain with 100% on this. Like, that's my brother. I just, you know what I'm saying? That 60 frames per second and everything's got to be the standard. I don't want to hear that shit. No, I don't, because it never will be the standard on consoles. It should be, but it won't. And that's, to me, is that, like, stop trying to, I know you guys want that, and maybe eventually it might, but I just don't see it, because if these devs is working on new hardware and then working on the old hardware and all this stuff, they don't have the particular time to keep doing it. I don't know, but that's another topic for another day, right? But the one thing that I do agree with him with is that you cannot have, and that's the same thing what Killer Brill said, you cannot show these games being played on a PC at a higher frame and then launch this game at 30. That is not the way. If anything, I would say just have performance mode for a shooter, for a multiplayer shooter, and then add the 4K mode. You still gonna get it. You still gonna get the work. You still gonna get the work. But I don't know. I know it's a tough thing. Xbox is getting treated as second-class citizens is pretty much what Killer Brill said. You're right. Xbox fan, and that's what also Still Rain was saying as well. And I think I read what Still Rain said before I seen the Killer Brill stuff, but Still is right on this. I will see the crazy thing about it is that, like, people think that I'm going to start turning into PC master race because I got this beast. Look, I spent too much money not to play on it. I'm going to play on this thing. So I'm gonna get the goods on it. I'm gonna play it at 60 or 100. Well, shit, I got the 40 series, so I probably could play it at like 100, 200, but 200 frames. But the thing to me is that that's not helping. That's not causing any type of situation to be comfortable for anybody. As an Xbox fan, with this, we're ready. We're all ready. We're not, and like I said, this game could be a hit in a sense of, like, it's really good. The story is slapping, all of that. But you're gonna have people that's still gonna be negative about this game, regardless. But you're gonna have people that's gonna be negative about it now because of the timing of you giving out this message, and also the fact that, and then because of that IGN thing. I don't know, man. Dark, you're not playing a shooter at 30 frames? Bro, man, you play all your games at 30 frames per second. Hold on now. Hold on, let me drink my coffee here. Let me ask you this question, Dark. You stop this. You can't be coming in here being messy. Let me ask you this question. What is Resident Evil 4's frames per second? Because I don't know. It looks good though, but I mean, I haven't played Resident Evil since Resident Evil 6. So, oh well, not a lot. I got Resident Evil 7 and it scared the hell out of me. And Curie, I know this. It was getting negative press from the get. I know Arcane made great games. I'm not disputing this now. I'm not going to come out here and try to act like I'm the Bethesda. Excuse me. Let me be country. Bethesda. I said it right that time. Like, just connoisseur of their games. I'm fairly new to their games. Not because they, going back to I played Doom on the PC with a couple of PC friends and Quake and stuff like that, but never but Dishonored, I only played part of Dishonored. I haven't played the other two. Prey I thought was pretty damn good. I love the first Prey, but I love the first Prey. First Prey was out of sight. The second Prey, I got about halfway through. I like it. It was one of those games I was like, I'll get back to it, and then I start playing other stuff, and then it's in the backlog. I love the Wolfenstein games. The Wolfensteins are hot. In Doom, I like Doom. I think Doom is great, but for me, it's just I'm not there with Doom like a lot of people are. Like I like it, you know, but I haven't beaten either one of them. So I'm and Fallout. I love Fallout. I think Fallout is out of sight too. So it's not, and I've never beat Skyrim. I never beat Skyrim. I've played like, I think the max I played is like 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours on Skyrim, and I've never just jumped in. So I'm not gonna act like I'm a Bethesda, just know everything or whatever. Now that Ghostwire Tokyo, I'm seeing people loving it. I've been telling people about that Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm telling you, boy, that thing is a heater. But regardless, and listen, I know all these situations has happened through all through the industry where they give you these announcements and it's good. So it's not like it's just an Xbox thing, like I'm saying, but it's just these stupid narratives that keeps these stands that say these stupid ass things, keep them relevant. Game Pass fodder. It's not Game Pass fodder. Game Pass has already proven themselves to be a much superior service than any other gaming service that's out there by leaps and bounds, astoundingly. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close. People now try to throw the PlayStation's like monthly games that comes out. Man, it barely gets a whimper, man. You'll get the PlayStation stand, they'll like it, and it probably might get about 100 likes or something like that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Game Pass is a much superior, fantastic service than anything that we had in gaming in our history, right? But you kill these narratives, right? You got to have all these games coming out here. And if there's information that needs to be said, get them done. Get them done. Get it out there. Let soften the blow. Get them out there early. And like I said before, and I've been saying, bring these games out when they're ready. Do not all this, let me see what you got. Show me a clip. I need, because the next year, where did that game go? What happened? You showed this game. We need to know more. Well, the game is not ready. But you showed it. It's such a, yeah, just wait. Just wait. So that's why, and so what you're saying, Curie said that's why the only counter is just enjoying the game. No, listen, I'm going to enjoy these games regardless. Now, but my issue is the $70 price tag. I can't get past that. I won't get past that. If you can't give me a game full-fledged with all the bells and whistles, you asking me to pay an extra $70. Now, again, like I said, Game Pass is going to soften the blow on that. But you're still but then this Game Pass gets labeled because of this fuckery. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's why I'm like, why say this now? Give us the information later. Give it the information later. You still got Game Pass to fall on, and people are still going to play the game. They're not going to sit. I mean, I know that, Dark and this other. I've seen people go out crazy and say, I'm not playing this game. Whatever. If you got Game Pass, you're going to play it. Stop it. And especially if it's hot, if the game is really good, if people are enjoying it, your ass is going to play it. Stop that. You just want attention. Now, I mean, there are some people out there that will stand firm. 60 or else I need my 60. But did you play any 30 frames per second games last year, sir? No. Oh, okay. What, didn't you post something about, a game that came out last year that was 30 frames per second? I do not remember. 60 or else. No, I don't want to hear those people. I don't. They annoy me. They annoy me. I have love for a lot of them, but they annoy me. Because if you play one game that's 30 frames per second and you enjoy it, you can enjoy a game that's 30 frames per second. And I like I said, I can enjoy Redfall. I'm hoping that the game is good. Every time that I've sit there and seen clips other than the IGN clip, it has impressed me more and more. When I first seen it, I'm like, yeah, I'll play it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks cool. I'm not buying it. Because I was thinking more of a Left 4 Dead, because I was so hyped for Left 4 Dead and only played a few hours in it. And because some of the people that I was playing with, they was acting weird. not trying to follow the thing. So and then anybody that I knew was playing it, they were already off of it. They already got their feel of it and they were already done with it. So that's unfortunate because I love or it was Back 4 Blood. I'm sorry, I said Left 4 Dead. Back 4 Blood I'm talking about. Left 4 Dead, I love Left 4 Dead. But again, this is not going to be, this is going to be more like Borderlands. And I have become a huge Borderlands fan now after playing, after finally getting a full dive into Borderlands 3. And I just fell in love with it. And listen, smooth 30 frames per second is not bad. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not getting on here and trying to say that 30 frames per second is the all end all bad. It's evil. No, I am saying though, the timing is bad. You do not let people know this a couple of weeks beforehand. You should have let people know. I say in January, February. Once you knew that you couldn't hit that, or this is just too late in the game to be posting this now, right? If this was a single player shooter, ain't nobody tripping. I mean, because I think somebody said that Far Cry 5 was Far Cry 5 was out of sight, Jack. I played the hell out of that game. I went through all of that. I didn't stop playing it. I went through it from beginning to end and didn't care any bit about it being 30 frames per second. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it don't bother me about 30 frames per second. It is the fact of the messaging, and it's the fact of you asking for $70. Those are the two big factors for me. And then also adding the other stuff that what Still Rain was saying partially, and what Killer Brill was saying. It's like, look, you showed this game at 60 frames per second. On PC, you're letting Xbox gamers down on that one. You are. Now, I'll get to play it, but that's not fair to anybody else. I'm not going to throw it. Well, I just did. I guess I did throw it in your face. I'm not trying to, I swear. But my point is that, look, yeah, I'll get to play it, and people who got a gaming PC will get to play it at 60 frames or higher or whatever. But the fact of it is that, like, as an Xbox gamer, that part right there where it's play anywhere, you should have the 60 frames per second option, the 120 frame option, already ready to go. And that's why I would say performance mode would probably be the best option instead of the whatever mode. But like I said, we'll find out more information. If they take too long, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter in the first place. It's not going to matter. No, I don't think that the Series S is slowing down the X. No, because I brought this up. I bring this scenario up every once in a while, and I talk about Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 was on the 360 and the PlayStation 3. Did the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One version, get slowed down by that? No. Now, the game was buggy out of its mind. Now, if that what you saying, if anything was slowed down, if maybe they needed to delay the game a little longer or something like that. But there will be people that will tell you that Battlefield 4 was one of the best shooters ever created. I'll be right there with them saying that's up there in the pinnacle with Halo and Titanfall and with Titanfall 1 and I mean, bro, that Battlefield 4 is one of the best shooters I've ever played in my life. It's absolutely amazing. And the enhancements that was on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 version compared to its predecessors was 9 days. So I'm not buying all that. The S is holding back this and holding that's gamer politics talk to me. That I don't see that, like, because the console is because what you're trying to make it sound like is that the S is somehow connected to the Xbox One X, and though like they share the same type of power, and they don't. Like, that's the only way that the X could be held back. Now, if you're saying that because developers has to work on both different systems and that might take away time, maybe, but anything being held back, no. Power-wise, no. That's that I don't believe that at all. Yeah, and you're right, Spider-Man. The Series S has 120 frames per second games. It's just what the developers is doing, right? Like, I mean, I don't like calling developers lazy because they work just like anybody else. If you are working your job and there's some issues going on and somebody calls you lazy and you're busting your ass doing the best that you can, you would feel that that's not fair. So I'm not going to call developers lazy. I think that they may have too many things on their plate. We need to go ahead and get rid of stop. Well, not to say get rid of, but stop putting these games out on the older. We need to start just making these games just exclusively on the Series S and X and on PlayStation 5. That's what I feel. So these and you know what I'm saying. So these developers can have full-fledged time on these consoles. But of course, they don't have as many consoles out there, so they have to do it to try to make as much money. It's a money game all the way around. So I mean, they got to make the profit. So, but $70. But this game ain't gonna fly for no $70. Like, so Game Pass is it. So yeah. I just, yeah, he said always blame the skill man. So anyway, I want to read a couple of these comments. Okay, so bro here, he mad. And listen, I feel him, but then I don't, right? Because he's like, all these people out here, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go full deep in it, but he said all these people out here bitching and complaining that it's not about that it's less that at least it's 60 frames per second at launch. You know what I say to them, go help them. Go help the devs or sit your ass down and shut up. Now listen, I feel them on that. But we also spend it. Well, we are spending money because I mean we are spending money on Game Pass. And for the people that will buy the game at $70, I will not buy this game at $70 for it not having both modes available. Yeah, I'm saying, I mean, you should have just kept the DRM mode if that was the reason for not having the 60 frames per second mode. I don't know. I'm not going to really go into the weeds and try to say it is or it's not because I don't know yet. We'll find out information here later on as we go. But I agree with him in the sense of like when everybody's talking about, man, these games got to be this and that, and okay, well, go be a dev, go get to school, go get to it. I feel him on that, but when the part about he's saying that people are bitching and complaining, I mean, look, if gamers want games to be at 60 frames per second, they want games to be at 60 frames per second. I just don't like the hypocritical shit about it when people are playing games at 30, but then at certain particular games, they're over here trying to, well, this game is not this, and this game needs to be this all the time, every standard. Like, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. So, and I had to tell bro this. Like I said, like I've been saying here in this stream, is I was saying, like I told him, I said my issue is the asking price. Yes, it will be on Game Pass, but this adds labels. No one said the game will be bad, but for me, shooters, fighters and racers should always be 60 frames per second. If this was a single player game, I wouldn't care. Arcane should have told us this a few months ago, in my opinion. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be mad at Arcane because they made this decision. If they feel that the game performs and plays better at 30 frames per second, okay. They have been working on the game. They have been playing the game. So if they feel that way, but they have showed us a 60 frames per second trailers and gameplay, and that's the part I'm talking about. That's not the good look, man. That's not the good look. You know what I'm saying? If they like I said, and so homeboy here is talking about, spam delay Redfall. And I'm like, no, they already delayed it. You know what I'm saying? The game should have had a price tag of 50 or 60 instead, since they knew a performance mode wasn't ready. That was a miss. That was the miss. That was the miss to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and so homeboy says here, he says, I feel like the explanation behind it is going to be about them focusing to take out the always online aspect of it. 60 frames per second should be a standard now. Hard pass till the patch hits. Well, then you ain't going to play the game most likely. You know what I mean? Unless, you know what I'm saying? That's one of those things like that 60 frames per standard, 60 frames per second standard does not apply to consoles 100%. We all know this. As console gamers, we know this. Not every game is going to be 60 frames per second. It even at some point when some new game comes out that everybody's clamoring for, or something that's got people's attention, then that game is going to be 30 frames, and that game might be 30 frames per second. The one thing that I say is that what you would want to see when you going forward is to see more games have the option of having having the quality or the performance mode. But you know what I'm saying? But to have this saying that this is the standard, but then it just ain't. It just won't. I just don't see it. Delay the game. It's just that simple. No, let them hate. Twitter is not the world. If the game is fun, I'm enjoy it. Now that's how you got to look at it, right? You know what I'm saying? My boy Callie says, honestly, this game can't catch a break between the IGN gameplay and now this. Like I said, the IGN thing was unprofessional. All them edits in there, the gameplay, the person who was playing it. Nah, man, it didn't look good. Now I'm not gonna say try to cap for it and say, yeah, well, hey, there was a moment. Nah, man, it didn't look good. It didn't look right. But if they chose that setting, they chose the way that it was just iffy. Like there was. If someone offers you something, if a company offers you something to present it in a good, positive light, then you would find a way to do that. And my question with that is, when, if that's all they had that was available, then that's a different story. But something tells me that they had a little bit more space and opportunity to show the game from a different point of view than what they did. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's not a good look though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like, thank you, Solid Evolution. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, he's like, I don't get it. That's the thing. He says, here we go. He says, this is DOA on consoles and the Game Pass effect. Deathloop had 4 modes. This can't even have performance at launch under Microsoft's stewardship. See, again, another one of these stupid ass narratives. This game was being worked on before. And see, this is not even, and this is why this is pissing me off, because we all know that the game was being worked on before Microsoft picked them up. But since Microsoft got them, this is going to be the label, and then people like me or whatever is going to try to say, look, but the game is being developed by, so if this game was on PlayStation, on everything, what would be said then? Nobody would say shit. They would go ahead and there would be people that would be like, man, that's a pass, but they're putting way more emphasis on it because it is an Xbox exclusive. Because Xbox, see, this is what I was talking about. Xbox be having people on the ropes, these stands on the ropes, having them cry the fact they stole Redfall, they stole Starfield, they did this, and now this, they feel a sense of vindication. This is the problem here. That's the problem. But anyway, let me continue with him. He said it just shove it out the door and get content on Game Pass. Sad, but Arcane is great, and Dishonored 1 and 2 along with Prey was amazing. Sad. And then this is why, Wanderer is saying why I don't buy games day one. Now, that is a legitimate point. Yeah, so John B says, if there's issues, it's Microsoft. If it's great, Microsoft had nothing to do with it. Yeah, no, you're right. That's damned if they do, damned if they don't. Like this, that's why I say this comment right here is what keeps the stands relevant. Because they can say this, even though it's not true, and use this as fuel to keep that Xbox negativity and Game Pass negativity at full tilt. Even though this isn't the end of the world, no, but it's still the projection of everything, right? You see they didn't talk about how they try to throw that shade at High Five Rush, But they couldn't. The game was too good. The game was flawless. It had no issues. The only problem it was that the game was shadow drop, which was amazing, but they didn't advertise it afterwards to show this greatness right here to like, look how we starting our year. With this greatness. This shit right here is hot. This is what we talking about. But instead, this. So let's keep going. Field Defense Force is to blame. They know they will provide cover. It's disaster after $8 billion in 3 years of wait. Hopefully Starfield is 60. The narrative's already started. They already told you that. I think that they said it was going to be 30. Starfield was going to be 30. I think that they were going to try to achieve 60. Now, like I said, I remember reading that article in January. I think it was January 18th. Now, if there's something more that came out here, I must have missed it. And people let me know in the chat, please. But listen, but see, Curie, this is the problem though. Stop it, Dart. He's so messy. He said it's not the end of the world, but it's pretty close. He's so messy. Anyway, but again, this is what keeps these fools relevant. To the point of why they say this, right? Like the 6 billion 3-year wait. Wait a minute, hold on. So you're saying that all the other games that came out that was on it that were trash, but now all of a sudden this one particular game that nobody has played except for a few people has played is now trash because of it's going to be 30 frames per second. Like these dumbass narratives, like you said, these jabs, they're sickening. They're so petty and they're useless. But when you get information like this is what helps them to continue to say this garbage. It is, God. Oh, here it goes. Here's another stand. I swear, being an Xbox gamer is so hard. Can y'all ever catch a break? Bro, it is tough on this end. That Xbox One, it was tough. This is lightweight shit. It's hard it was hard in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. It was hard. It was hard, Jack. It's hard. This ain't hard. This ain't hard. And especially when stands don't have anything to play. See, I'm trying not to go sway over there to talk about what's going on PlayStation side. Forget them. But again, let's keep going. I mean, but this feeds the narrative. But this feeds a narrative for them. And this is what they do. Okay. 30, 60, 124, I don't care as long as it's playable and it doesn't look like a 1999 graphic game. Right? Like I get you. I feel like that. Okay, so there's my boy. TXJ, I hate that I can't see my boy out there at E3 this year, man. God dang. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? That's my bro. He's a good dude. Really good dude. Out there with Megatron and all the rest of them, man. Golly, I hate that. He said the haters will have a field day. I thought, you know what I'm saying, although we'll play via Game Pass day one, I do wish Microsoft and Microsoft owned pubs wouldn't open themselves up to criticism with moves like this. I know that he's right. I mean, this is why I'm saying, like, when we always used to say Xbox would make 5 steps forward and then they would make 5 steps back, and sometimes with certain news it would be like 20 steps back. They would get like 5 steps up, 20 steps back with a really bad news. Sometimes they would get 20 steps up and then they would get 10 steps back. On this one, because of High Five Rush, the start of, you know what I'm saying, the start of all these great games coming on Game Pass, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about 30 steps up. This is about 10 steps back. This is about 10 steps back. Now, like I said, it's not the end of the world, but they've opened themselves to unnecessary, you know what I'm saying, publicity, negativity, I can't talk. Let me be country. with they can't with this plup. Oh shit. Okay. They have. Oh, this is what happens when he goes live. This is what happens when you put yourself out there and you get this negative publicity, and everything is all close to the time that when the game is about to drop. That's why I say it's 10 steps back. Everything was riding high until IGN started. And then on top of that, like, I'm still overlooking that. Like, I mean, look at the gameplay. Come on, man. Look at the editing. That's not cool. But now this. Who said to do this now? Like, was this Arcane? Or was this, well, it had to be Arcane, but yeah, like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me read this. He says 6.8 billion all Bethesda games in Game Pass, and one more on the way. I think we got Microsoft's money's worth. You're right. You're right. You're right. Promo data. You're right. Like, that's the thing to me, is that we're going back to this dude's point right here. You know, like, that narrative is stupid, but it just doesn't make. But it makes them feel relevant over there for when they say, and I understand it, like Curious saying, like, let them have their stupid jab. Enjoy the game. The game is, if the game is good, the game is good. But it's still, even when you got us Xbox gamers that are saying, look, man, this isn't, it's not a great look. Because my point is, it's the $70 price tag. You asking $70 for this. I know other people do it, but Microsoft, you don't have to. And then he says, big mistake. All right. So let's have a little fun with it before we get out of here, because I do got to go here, do my water aerobics. Look at being messy. I say releases 4080 gang playing at 120 frames anyway. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I will be playing it over here, right next to here. I paid too much money to build this sucker. All right, so. Let's see. Well, I hate the way I have this thing set up on here through this stream. Like, I can see it normally. Hold on. Gotta see more about this. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is more of my stuff. Well, no, this is everybody else's stuff. Let's see. Hold on. Let's go this way. All right. Oh, let's see what my boy Don said. All right, here we go. All right, I'm sure we're going to get people complaining about frame rate once again. He said, however, people don't understand developers have target frame rates in mind when they make products, and I'm sure they did not land on 30 frames per second by accident. And I agree with that. Me and Don's had this conversation a million times, right? Like, but I still have to make this point of saying, look, it's a shooter. It's a multiplayer shooter. Now, if it's a single player game, I don't care. So look, what are you going to say? Let me read what he said. Rainlock looks nice on a Xbox Game Pass coming May 4th. Oh yeah, that looks hot. I can't wait to play that. I love me some games, some hack and slash. It looks real good. And he said, and the promo data says, nor will they support the non-established IPs because you see how quickly Forspoken became forgotten and unbought. No, I mean, listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're hypocrites over there. The stands are hypocrites. They've always been hypocrites. Who gives a damn about the hypocrite that's here and that says that? I'm saying overall, for me, giving my personal opinion, is that the optics doesn't look good when you ask for $70. Then you wait a couple of weeks before a game drops with this type of information. This information should have already been established, because this is like when me and Don eventually get back to doing Devin the Gamer. That's going to be my pushback to him, is that this should have already been established. I understand they kept working on it, but even at that point, let's say in February or March, they knew that they didn't have enough time. They knew. And if they diverted their time on trying to do it to do something else, like let's say the DRM thing, then that should have came out a month or more ago to soften the blow, to let everybody be equipped and ready and prepared, and saying at the point after the little outrage to like, man, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because the game will speak for itself, right? All right, let's see if we got some more. I know we got some more, but I just, All right, so let's see what my boy Logan has to say. He said at least the update will add it, right? But that update, when will that update come? That's the question. Is it going to come next year? Is it going to come this year? I mean, it's got to come in 3 months. If it doesn't come in 3 months or less, ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter. I mean, they are going to do an update, but if it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just ain't going to matter. Like, because within the 3 month range is when games really have their establishment. Now, again, live service games, they have a lot longer longevity. They have a lot of longevity, and it could jump up and gain a lot of traction. I just don't know, because like I said, a lot of people's time is going to be on other games that's going to be coming out this year, because there's a lot of great games that's going to be dropping. So it's like, to me, it's got to be 3 months or less. It's got to be. Well, Fahim, of course we want an exclusive. I mean, are you trying to insinuate that the game is bad without playing it? Are you saying that the game is bad? Come on now. There's a difference between trying to say that, okay, this game is 30 frames per second. I wish the standard was 60 frames per second, but it is what it is. Or when you play it and this game is like, oh man, this game is bad, man. This game, ooh-wee. Even in this 30 frames per second state, it's unplayable. The story is uninteresting. Graphics is not held up. That's different. Going off of just saying this news, which, like I said, the PR, the optics of this is not a good look. But saying that the game is bad because it's 30 frames, that's bullshit. That's BS, brother. Come on now. Don't start that. Don't start that. All right, here we go. My boy Still Rain. He says all these upscaling techniques that exist through the focus. I got this big ass thing in there. Through the focus continues to be the narrative 4K. He says if 4K 30 is possible, then 1440p 60 is possible. Is possible. 1080p 60 is possible. Options are available. Options are possible. You have to set a bar and meet that. And I personally believe that the bar should be start at 60 frames per second. Now, as I said earlier, me and Rain had that discussion in there, and I can't wait to hear what his response back to me is. When I said, look, you're not going to get away from the 30 frames per second. You want the 30 frames per second on consoles. You're just not. It's just not going to go away. But see, this is the dilemma here, right? Because I feel him on this when he's talking about, like, the focus continues to be 4K 30. But I think as a whole, especially in the console space, pretty graphics trumps the 60 frames per second. Now, if you are a person that plays on everything, especially if you are a PC gamer and you play a lot of games on PC, then having what he's talking about with the 1440p 60 frames per second is possible, and you can have a 1080p 60 frames per second possibility. He's right. But how many console gamers are going to ride for that? Like, I didn't pay $500 or I didn't pay $550 to play 1080p. I could be playing that shit on the PlayStation 4, or I could play that on the Xbox One X. You see what I'm saying? And the Xbox One X does 4K. That's the dynamic here. That's the dynamic. And that's, to me, is where I'm saying, like, consoles is always going to have this type of situation until eventually, I guess, because consoles becoming more PC-like in that sense. But I just don't know how many people would be like, nah, bro, yeah. I'd rather have my games at 1440p 60 and 1080p 60 and not having a 4K mode. Because I think gamers would trip out. I think gamers would trip out. Like, I paid how much for this console and I can't play in 4K. I got a 4K TV and you telling me, and even though like it, you know what I'm saying, to certain people, like, yeah, you can, some people can see the difference, some people can't, when it comes to 60 frames, 30 frames, 120 frames, all that. But it's the bigger scheme of it. Like the whole projection. You gotta look at the whole bigger picture. You bought a 4K television, right? You want to see your games in 4K. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there's options on your TV to play at 60 frames, 120 frames. I think there's, well, that's monitors that can go up to 240 and 240 frames. But I don't know if there's any TVs that can go 240 frames. Maybe, I don't know. But I think at the end of the day, it's about that 4K. That is the standard for console. Like, they want to have those visuals, and that's why I say what I say about the 30 frames per second. So he makes a great point, like, because there should be an option. The options are the options are important. They should be important, but I just don't. I don't know. I can't co-sign that though. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's see if we find anything else. Okay, my boy, okay, Asante, he said the question still raises for me, what about Starfield? The question is, do you want to play 4K or 60 frames for most gamers? And that has been the trend most of this gen, but fake outrage. I want the visuals. See, Kermit? That's what I'm saying. Like, the visuals is king. Why do you think PlayStation gets all those accolades? Why do you think PlayStation goes so hard to find games that are visually pleasing to the eye? Think about that. Why do you think that some of the bigger budget games out there have to have good, strong visuals? Now, there are sleepers out there that are guessing games that has 8-bit and they're really popular and things like that. But visuals matter. Like, the appearance of something matters. When people are playing those games on their televisions or on their monitors, or especially on their televisions, and then they got people that aren't gamers coming over, they want to show that game off. They want to, like, look at this, you know, like, look at this. Look at this. To have somebody says, oh, that looks lifelike. Oh, that looks amazing. Blah, 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 blah. Visuals are king, especially in the console space of it. That's why 4K is a standard. Now, you know, that's why even on my PC, I'll sacrifice some frames so I can have quality mode. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's to the individual of what they want. But like Spider-Man saying, like others, it's like, look, man, I want my 4K. And I think that's where the console gamer is where, look, we want the visuals. We'll take the high frames. We like the high frames, but if you give me the visuals and the game is good and it's workable and it's playable, I'm good with it. Let me read a little bit more here in this chat. He says, for me, the higher frames are a must since first-person shooters tend to get me motion sick on lower frames. That's a situation right there as well. Like, I mean, like I said, it's to the individual. But I would, you know what? I think I might try to do a poll before somebody else does, to see. And I might. I'm saying I don't know how many people watch it, but I want to hear. Let me ask this poll. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see right here. No. All right, let's see. Let's add this in here. All right, let me see what you guys say. I need to know. I need to know. All right, let's keep it going. Because K. Asante is asking a good question, but I mean, look, for me, I don't care. I'm all about Starfield. I'm excited about it now. I wasn't because nobody didn't show nothing but a door and some other stuff. And so right now I'm excited about Starfield. If it's at 30, if it's at 60, if it has an option. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to deep dive into this game, see what it's like, see what, discover, have a good time. It's always got everything that I want in an RPG open world game. Like everything I want, space exploration. You know what I'm saying? A lot of content. Like that's what I want, and that's what I'm looking for. I can't wait for that game. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's a good legitimate question. Yeah, that's cool, but I wouldn't do that. All right. So what my boy B say? He says, "How Redfall about to come through and save the summer?" Hey, oh, let's do it. Oh, this fool here. Ah, the disrespect here. Ah. Hey, talk that. Talk that. I love it. Anyway, he said Xbox fans logging into Twitter. Oh, I hate that this stupid thing is right there. Good grief. Anyway. Uh what did King David say? He says your own game. I can't defend the L. Oh, 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 man, damn. Yep. I mean, I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. He's right. Uh, uh, so they're doing their thing right there. The spaces. I've thought about trying to do a space, but I don't know. Don finally got his PC up. We can finally get to doing some Devin the Gamer. I'm seeing oh, what's going on here? Anyway, okay, let me get off of this. let me get let me get back to oh, what's this guy say? Okay. Let's get back out of here. And he says, what Fonz really says is, didn't the content creators and journalists say Redfall at 60 frames per second just a couple of weeks back? How is it not ready for launch? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not. I mean, he's right. Like I don't know, man. And you know what, Fahim? The problem is the problem is that that's going to stick until Starfield comes out. And that's the problem that I'm talking about with these narratives, right? Like, I mean, that's where King David is saying it's an L. That's why I'm saying that the optics doesn't look good. This is a problem. The $70 at the price tag, the timing of this is just bad. It's not a good look. This is not. It's not about if the game is good or bad. It's about the optics. It's about what we just seen. We just seen you got back to back negativity for a game that was just like a week or so ago being told that it was being stolen from PlayStation. You had some of the big PlayStation stands out there going off about how this is unfair. Now you give them ammunition going the other way. Oh, oh. So it just so yeah, and now they're going to come after. What you say? You said Kev Mega would have got caught. What I would got caught with? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You said K Mega would have got caught. You said maybe because it's Raiders couldn't tell the difference between 60 and 30. He said the red Karen. The devs never said it was 60. See, now I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That part I don't know. See, I don't have a problem. Listen, Stop this. Stop this right now. This is what the problem is. They better get Hellblade right. No, man. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Because if this game is not, listen, if Redfall is not what is not good, let's just say hypothetically the game's not good, right? And Forza, Starfield, hit. Plus, of course, you got on High Five Rush. If they all hit, and you got one game that didn't live up to the expectations, is that a bad year? No. How many? No. So I'm not trying to hear that. They better have Hellblade right. Nah, bro. Don't do that. Don't start that. Just because of this. Don't do that. I have the utmost faith in all these studios doing doing what's right. But the problem is that you got to be better at giving us information in a timely manner. You said I meant maybe the content creators couldn't tell the difference between 60 and 30 frames per second. Duvall, I don't know. And seeing that goes into my point again about like, does it really matter? But I think that like, I don't know. That's a damn good question. That's a real good question. I don't know. Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know between the 60 and 30. I mean, I know I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference, especially because for instance, when I'm playing with like I said, with something fast paced where you're using your buttons and you need that reaction time to be on point. With fighters, Demon Slayer for one. Demon Slayer has when you play online, it's 30 frames per second. But when you're playing against somebody couch co-op, or if you're playing against the computer, you feel that difference between that 60 frames and that 30. With a single player game, how would you know that, right? Like, that part is pretty legitimate, unless you have a device that you can play games at 60 frames, like a PC, something like that, and then you definitely can feel some of the difference. But for the most part, I don't know. Yeah, if you're just coming here to play this game, right? And that game, even if it is on a PC, right? And they're playing it, do you really know? That is a great question. I don't know the answers to that. I don't know. And I know a lot of people can't tell. Just like there was people that, when I used to talk about 4K TVs compared to 1080p TVs, there would be people that would argue with me. That would say, no, I don't see the difference. It is. I think it's just based on the individual. But yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But there is a difference for sure. But okay, Mega, it's been a rough week for us Xbox guys. I'm not worried about the Redfall. I'm not worried about the Redfall IGN thing. That was just so unprofessional with all the editing and all that other stuff. It just looked weird. Like, and I know people and that gave all this attention to. Well, there was so many glitches that they wanted to just show it so people can ask the questions. Are you gonna get these glitches fixed? Because I completely already put the IGN Redfall gameplay to bed. I don't even care about that. This is different. This is not a good look. This is not a good look at all. You said you gotta apply pressure sometimes. No, and that part is true. That's why I'm saying, like, as an Xbox gamer, you gotta express yourself the right way, because if you come out and you try to defend this in the sense of saying like, well, it's not the end of the world. You're right, because we got to see what the game is going to play like, what the story is going to be. If the game plays fine and the story is good and the game is entertaining, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But if the game has issues, if the game is still buggy, if the game has got, and you know, games are going to have bugs, but I'm saying if the game is, it's sometimes unplayable, if the frame rates, it drops from 30 less, yeah, bro, that's the problem that you got that we got to find out. So, but you know what I'm saying, this is rough. IGN thing. Redfall situation is rough. I'll say that. But Xbox, no, it's been a good year. It's been a great year. You know what I'm saying? If this is the only game that, if, you know what I'm saying, we don't know what else the year is going to bring, but if this is the only game that Xbox comes out with that's in their portfolio that is not up to snuff and everything else is fine, nah, it's a great year still. I mean, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna base the year on one game? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. 2023, and we're still getting 30 frames per second game. For Xbox is incompetent. Bro, better check on them other consoles out there. It's 2023, and we're still getting 30 frames per second on all platforms. All platforms. You know that there's people that plays games on PC at 30 frames per second. You know, so there's a lot of incompetent hardware out there. So let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? IGN are Sony fanboys. I don't know. I don't pay attention to IGN that much at all. I'll catch a few things here and there. But the media is definitely the darling. It definitely loves PlayStation, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. The beginning of the generation, the media was being pretty rough on PlayStation, which I was glad for the balance. But yeah, they will they'll beat the horse. They'll beat the dead horse down about this 30 frames per second all the way until Starfield. So that's no question. That's going to be a big topic that's going to go around. What Brandon says is that what you was saying, you was giving them a pass. Oh, I guess he was talking. Well, I don't know if he was giving that to me. No, I'm not giving nobody a pass. I mean, this is the reason why I made this video. Like, optics is not good, so maybe he's talking to somebody else. To be clear, I still have it installed in my PC. Same. Yeah, I'm going to play it, so it's not a big deal. Let's look at this poll. Yeah, it says 4K gaming is a must over. 54% said no. 46% said yes. So it's still, I mean, 54%, it's winning, but it's not winning by a lot. I mean, well, some people would say, well, that's 8%, but still closer than I thought. I was thinking it was going to be kind of overwhelmingly no, but still, that comes to let you know that 4K gaming is very important to people. So, you know, it is what it is, man. So I don't know. But let's read a couple more and then get on out of here. Yeah, because I got to get ready to go here in a few. Let's see. Let's see what. Okay. All right. So let's see what Fawn said on this one again. He said, why is this stupid thing in the way? Watch, I'm going to put this in here. Okay. Good. Oh, I needed to hit that. And now I'm probably missed what Fawn said. Oh, no, I got it. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. Just my opinion. But if the game isn't entirely ready, why push it out the door? This is a major fail in my eyes of many who don't wish to play a first-person shooter in 2023 at 30 frames per second. Delay the game. All right, so that ain't going to happen. The game's coming out. They're not going to delay the game. I'm mixed on this topic because, again, like I said, you're still going to get games at 30 frames per second. But I also say that fighters, shooters, racers need to be 60. Fonz and others are going to be saying this in 2025, 2024, 2026, 2027 about 30 frames per second. But yeah, it's a fail. It's a fail to not give the information out early. It is a fail. That, like I said, optics wise, I don't know. Now I'm just repeating myself. I just think that it tarnished the game. This information tarnished the game. So now this game's got to knock it out the park, and I don't know if it will. I hope it does, But it's got to be slapping, man. That game's got to be popping right off the rip. Have a really great story, all of that. Because it's going to be highly high. It's already going to get scrutinized now because of this news, but it's going to get highly scrutinized for any and everything. And I don't know. It's not the best look at all. So so yeah. And look, I see the polls getting clearer. See, gaming addict, I'm annoyed too. I'm annoyed because. So please let me know and let me know why you're annoyed. Is it because of the? Because like I said, it's the time. Like I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys, for repeating myself, but it's the timing, the optics, and and just assure that just those things and the price. Those things. So now I added three things. Those three things are crucial and they're awful. But see, Duvall, I'm one of those people that love Gotham Knights. See, that's the thing to me is like this. It's like what Fonz is talking about, what other people talk about with this, it's 2023, 30 frames per second thing or whatever. But then yet, you guys post clips and stuff about Plague's Tale. And that was just last year, at the end of last year. So I don't want to hear that. Like, look, listen, the people jumped on Gotham Knights, and that was a single player game. It had a mode that was going to be 4-player co-op that landed, but that game was 30 frames per second and it got ripped to shreds. But Plague's Tale didn't. That's to me, that's the hypocritical shit of it that I can't stand. This to me though is a shooter and a multiplayer shooter. If this was a single player shooter at 30, it's fine. It should be 60, but it's a multiplayer shooter and it should be, and that's why I'm conflicted. I agree with Fonz, but on parts of what he's saying, and I don't agree in other parts, right? Same with like my boy, like I said, with Still Rain. Same with others out there, but right, and that's the thing too, right? Like he said, if Xbox can step on a rake. It said they're like, yeah, like they can't get out their own way sometimes, bro. Like they can't get out their own way. Like I said, they step forward and then they step back. They step forward, then they step back. This is not a major step back, but this is not a good look. This isn't. Because all this, the strongest console, the most powerful console this generation. You got reps, Xbox reps that's bragging about the 60 frames per second and in 120 frames per second. The S can do 60 frames, 120 frames. I get all that. That's not a good look. And then of course, like what Killer Brill said, which I totally agree with, and others, is that, and then that's the part where what Still Rain was talking about, like I 100% agree with. Like, you showed this game it being at 60. Now Duvall, I don't know. Now, if the developer said that this game is playing 60 frames per second, because I'm sure somebody would have asked that question, and if the dev said that that's being played at 60 frames per second and they're playing that game on PC, then damn it, that game should be 60 frames per second. So I agree that the game should have been delayed, but it can't be delayed now. It can't be delayed now. Yeah, Gaming Addict says Aaron over here bragging about 120 frames, and they can't hit 60 at launch with their own game. Shake my head. No, I get it, bro. I am not going to try to throw a defense party on those points. You can't. You can't as an Xbox. I am an Xbox guy, but he's right. That it just, the optics is bad. You know what I'm saying? Of course it isn't why it is this coming out a day after that Ghostwire runs worse on Series X. Yeah, that's right. I think I've seen that. I think I've seen some stand post that. And so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that I did see somebody post and said it ran good on PlayStation 5. or whatever. And so if that's the case, well then yeah, now it's now turning out to be a bad week. Yeah, now it's turned out to be a bad week. Oh shit. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's see. Anime Rapper says you guys are in the chats talking about Zelda, yet it's Microsoft who released the next generation console and called it the world's most powerful. I don't talk about Zelda. I like Zelda. I like Nintendo, but I'm not in chats talking about Nintendo like that, bro. Sorry. Nah. So I don't know. I mean, he must be talking to somebody else. I don't know, but he ain't talking to me. I'm not in chats talking about Nintendo unless it's something Nintendo is doing right or wrong. But I'm not talking about Zelda. I mean, Zelda's a GOAT franchise. Why would I talk bad about Zelda? Oh yeah. So it's a bad week. Yeah, that's gets turned to a bad week. Oh shit. Well, a start of a bad week. The week's not over yet, so there's still potential for some good stuff. Let's be real. We all know that Starfield will be 30 frames per second too and run like crap on PC. Have you played it? Do you know? I mean, if the 30 frames per second, they said it back in January 18th. I said that earlier. Like they were saying that the game is going to be 30 frames per second. It's a single player game. Who cares? That game gonna hit. Like, I'm sorry. I know that people ain't gonna want to hear about, but we're not talking about Starfield. We're talking about Redfall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to jump on to Starfield now because Redfall is seeming like it'd be in a precarious situation. Oh, you saw somebody in the chat. Okay, I'm like, damn, bro. I'm talking about Mario. Like, I mean, I like Nintendo. I ain't one of these weirdos that keep coming up and talking about if you play Nintendo, then you're kind of weird. Fool, didn't you say that you started gaming in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s? Didn't you say that you played games? That you had access to some kind of Nintendo product? And now all of a sudden, because you got older, Nintendo is not relevant? Or did you go see the Nintendo Mario movie? Come on now, don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you don't play a lot of Nintendo games, cool, but don't be dissing Nintendo. Come on, leave Nintendo alone. Addict, that's why I'm going to be playing it. That's why I'm going to be playing Redfall is on my PC. So I mean, honestly, since I built this big behemoth, I'm going to play most of my games this year on the PC. Now, through my Xbox app, of course, I got to get my achievements. But yeah. Stop it, Dark. Why are you coming in here every 30? Are you timing like every comment, like every 30 comment and saying something foul? Starfield is in dire straits. Oh my God, this man gonna act a fool. Man, we better have Xbox. You're gonna have to get this week up, bro, for Dark comes on GRG Friday night and start acting a fool, man. And don't coming on next, pumping his chest out, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop this. Starfield's gonna be a make or break for Xbox. No, it's not. How many times, you know how many times I used to hear that last gen? This game is gonna make Xbox make or break. No, it's not. Stop it. No, it's not. Stop it. Stop that. Xbox is not going anywhere. If every damn game on Xbox this year was bad except for High Five Rush, it would be a bad year. But Xbox ain't going nowhere. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop that. Damn. See, another thing, all this doom and gloom because of some bad optics. This is what I'm talking about. This is why these narratives got to be dealt with and snuffed out. And Xbox has got to stop putting themselves in this predicament and reading the temperature in the room. Thursdays are when fanboys are out of control on Twitter. So have a good GRG. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think Dark is gonna be the most petty. I think Dark Autumn is gonna be the most petty. He's gonna have his place. We on camera now, so he might have his PlayStation gear on. I don't know what's gonna happen, but boy, we better get it right this week. We got 2.5 more days to get it popping, Xbox. Let's go. Oh shit. Anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, just going back to what Fawn said, like I said, I agree with half of what he's saying. Other part with it's 2023, 30 frames. Man, look, it's gonna be 30 frames per second game for a for the foreseeable future for a good while. They got to stop this now. Okay, let's see what D-Batch said. He said, yeah, that won't cut it. Not delaying. He says not delaying the launch and releasing it with 30 frames per second will do more damage and make it most likely DOA. Not having 60 frames per second mode in 2023 is unacceptable. Okay, not agreeing with that. If you get mad at me, you are just ignorant of the facts. Delay this shit. No, not ignorant of the facts. Just understand the gaming market and gaming. I've been gaming ever since I've been 3 years old, and I follow these trends, and I say this shit well ahead of other people that get more credit. You're ignorant to the fact of there will still be 30 frames per second games. It ain't changing, bruh. It ain't changing. So stop it. But everything else that D-Batch said was absolutely right. Except I don't think that they're going to delay the game. I just don't. Now, I mean, we got D, we got Fonz, we got other people that's asking for the game to be delayed. But nah, it ain't happening. I mean, could it? I mean, if you got enough people having an uproar, you could. I just don't see it. I think they already got everything, all their ducks in a row. You say, I agree with you and D. 30 frames per second is unacceptable, but it still exists. Right, like that's what I'm saying. Like it can be unacceptable to you. I'm not trying to argue that point against these brothers. I'm not. My point is that you got to stop saying it's unacceptable in 2023 because you were saying the same thing in 2018, in 2015, in 2021, in 2022, in 2023. You'll say it in 2024. You'll say it in 2025. It is not 30 frames per second is not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. Will it eventually go somewhere? Yes. But this generation, no. Next generation, maybe it could. It's according to what kind of technology we get. It's according to what the devs do with towns. It's just according to how the whole dynamic works. But saying that, it just, and then calling people ignorant because, we might have a different opinion of that is different. If you're saying, saying that it's unacceptable, that's cool. Because for a shooter, it is unacceptable. A multiplayer shooter is unacceptable. Even a single player shooter should be 60, but if it's a single player game, let it run. But a multiplayer shooter, it is unacceptable for a game to be 60, to not be 60 frames per second, or to not have the option to have performance mode. So, like I said, he's not wrong on that. But, trying to throw the jab because, you're a PC guy mostly. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? You got to do better than that, bro. Got to do better than that. Oh, J-Rock, this is a major L. This is unacceptable for a shooter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you got to just be real about it. Man, Jesus. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now, I've been going on for about an hour and 33 minutes. I know this is recovery. Oh, okay. Yes. There's violence going on in the street. Okay. Okay. Again, where was the energy for how you say that game? Chia? I don't know how to say that name. The PlayStation execution day one, PlayStation Plus with Zelda Switch level of graphics, but at 30 frames per second, even on the PlayStation 5. Media for fanboys, hypocrisy. Here, listen. All right. You know what I'm saying? I love my boy, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I post a lot of his information out. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. But this ain't it, man. We can't be talking about PlayStation when this is an Xbox exclusive. We can't sit here and throw this, look at y'all's ass. Y'all can't get this Redfall, son. It's ours, son. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Phil did his proper, man. We got Bethesda. We gonna get Activision, man, Blizzard. We gonna get them all, bro. We got them. Got to get that CD Projekt Red though. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then on the flip side now, I start talking about like, come on now. Just as I say, succumb to the throat needle. Today, you just gonna have to succumb to the throat needle. You just gonna have to just take the dart to the throat and just take this L today. Take it. PlayStation got nothing to do with this. Let the stands have their little fun. Let them run rampant, like little gremlins. That's their business, right? They can have this one, but this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. We can't do that. We can't do that. Just say, look, man, this isn't a good look. He says, I don't believe these people saying they won't play Redfall over it being 30 frames per second. It's just, it's going to be in Game Pass where they can play without paying a dime outside of the subscription they already have. They'll have no excuse not to play it. That's absolutely right. Looking at all these gaming pundits trying to wash their hands and pin this solely on Arcane and Xbox. Oh, now this is what I like. Now, J-Rock, keep that shit funky. I like that. Now, I like that. Talk it. Take accountability for not doing your jobs and asking the right questions. Not trying to delay the game from y'all when you literally played and you're singing, oh shit, and you say, oh my goodness, and he said, okay, and singing his praises. Let's bow our heads for that sermon from Brother Rock. Let me read that again. That is, oh my goodness. I'm gonna take my glasses off on it, boy. That boy preach right there, boy. I need to get my sound thing back so I can have my church music going on this one. Wow. Okay, he says, look at all these gaming pundits trying to wash their hands and pin this solely on Arcane and Xbox. Taking accountability for not doing your jobs and asking the right questions. Not trying to delay the game from y'all when y'all literally played it and were singing its praises. God damn. God dang, I'm just talking about my damn self for 2 hours. Man, god dang it, I talk too damn much. Oh my goodness. All right. That man preaching. That man preaching. I gotta hit that like on that. That man right. They blame Xbox for this, but if the game is great, Xbox gets no credit. He's 100% right. Oh my God. Now it's every 10, 15. Dark Autumn Redfall DOA. Ooh, all right. Oh my goodness. Okay. They were all saying how good Redfall looks and how they're going to be playing it, having fun. Now look at them. Oh my God. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. All right. Look, man. Y'all think it has anything to do with the lack of tethering like Gotham Knights? Now, great point. It could. And this is another thing too, is that a lot of people see, and I don't want to come off as like I'm a business guy because I'm not. Like I said, I just follow trends. I just follow the way that things work. And 8 times out of 10, you can even say 7 times out of 10, I'm usually right about this stuff. But when Xbox got a hold of Bethesda, right? ZeniMax. Not these games, there was already games being worked on, and not all these games, and not all of a sudden it's like once the deal was done, the ink was dry, it was like, okay, put these games all on these Microsoft servers, or let's all get this working here and all that. They already had a plan, a structure, everything that they were doing, because some of these games were supposed to come to PlayStation, right? So they were working through different things like that. So like, you could have a really good point with that, Beezy. Beezy McNasty, I like that name. You could have a really good point with that. And so I don't know. And if that is what is the same reason why Gotham Knights suffered from not having a 60 frames per second mode, then you hit the hammer on the head. You hit the hammer right on the head, right? Like you were right on point. That is a fantastic question. And it could be an Unreal Engine fault. It could be a lot of factors. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, okay, so now we got like 3 potential reasons this could be happening, right? That, like a great point, like what Nasty said, was that, what I'm saying, could it be the lack of tethering like Gotham Knights? Could it be because of the DRM situation? Because people was up in arms about the DRM stuff, like it was 2013 all over again? Or they just had not enough time? It's not because of the Series S. That narrative should die on a vine. Stop bringing that up. Like, for every PlayStation stan that says it, fine. But for an Xbox gamer to say it, that to me is like you're listening to too much stan community, too much stan shit. Because that has nothing to do with anything. All you got to do is look at the history of gaming and games that crossed over from one console to the other and how they performed, right? Like how the game, what was the game a lot lighter than the previous game that came from the last generation or whatever, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, then the PlayStation Slim couldn't play God of War, right? Good God of War or Horizon Forbidden West or Ragnarok or whatever, right? Like, think about that. Like, is the PlayStation 5 being held back? No, it's not. The PlayStation 5 has better features than the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Slim and the PlayStation Pro, PlayStation 4 Pro. No. That's ridiculous. Okay, so what Carmen says Gotham Knights suffered because it was an average game. Stop it. It was not an average game. It was a really good game. That game was good. I don't know why you talk about it was average. He says not frames or 4K. Sometimes we have to. What did he say? Sometimes we have to tether our expectations. It is hard to do. Now, like, again, this game might not be it. Like, I never came into this game until recently. Not until the IGN, but it was I think about like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. Because I said this on next podcast on Xbox 448 channel Thursday. That I wasn't really high on Redfall. Like, I looked at Redfall like, okay, cool. But the more and more I've seen of it, the more impressive that it has been. And so therefore I'm anticipating and looking forward to playing the game. And then if the game is good, I'll buy it. But it just might not be that game. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Arcane makes really good game, but they're doing something out their wheelhouse. It's different. We just got to play the game to understand if the game is going to be good or not. We already got the bad news about the 60 frames per second. That's fine. It's over with. Now, how fast will that come? We need to find that out. And most likely they won't tell us. So, if it don't come in 3 months, like I said, it ain't going to matter at that point. Anything after that is irrelevant, in my opinion. They still need to add it, but in the scheme of things of having the game still sell well, still have a lot of traction, a lot of people just playing it, on the average, and it is past the 3-point mark and you still don't have the 60 frames per second, the people that likes the game will still play it. The people who've been waiting for the 60 frames per second game might just skip it or just play it at a later date, after they played everything else that they want to play, because that's just how that works. Let's see. Let's see what Jazzy knew. What up with Jazzy? He said they said they will bring it later. Not that it was canceled, right? Just optimizing it is all. No, they're not canceling anything. They are, yeah, Jazzy. They are they're bringing it. They're still bringing it. They're not canceling anything. It's just that at launch, the game is going to be at quality mode 4K 30. So let's see what Phil Stack said. He said, I can't defend Xbox much. This ain't it. He said it's been over 2 years since they launched the console and they haven't had a smooth launch yet. At this point, you have to blame management. I'm sorry. No, stop that. What do we just forget 2021? What are you talking about? 2021 was a great year. They kicked Sony's ass 2021. What are you talking about? Why do people forget? See, this short memory stuff. Now, maybe you could be a troll. I have no idea. I hope not. But, you know what I'm saying? If you're a troll or whatever, and you just try to say that just because that's just that fodder that comes out of, a Stan's mouth or whatever. But that's a Stan topic. What are you talking about as management? Well, we forget about 2021. Yes, 2022 was bad, but because of delays. So Xbox can't have delays. Are we going to go back to that again? Now, going back to this, again with Halo should have got delayed. Halo Infinite should have got delayed again. Should Redfall be delayed? Let me ask this question, and then I got to get the hell out of here. Yes, Hi-Fi Rush launch flawless. Come on, man. Yes, fair weather fans. Nobody ain't here trying to, man, take that shit to the PlayStation content creators. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Nobody. Management. Man, if the game ain't ready, the management ain't in there putting the games together. They're just here to hear if the game is ready or not. Is it ready? Yeah, it's playable. Let's get to it. What are we doing? Now you got publishers. Now you got everything else and all this. And now we got another. Now we could have another Halo Infinite situation where the game should be delayed, but it's not. And now the question is, will Arcane stay on it to maintain that this game is going to still be fun to continue to keep playing going forward after people beat the story, and then get, hurry up and get this 60 frame per second performance mode in there to kind of ease the tension before Redfall drops. That's the question. And I mean that's the question. And will the game be fun to play and have an enjoyable story? Because with multiplayer games, stories is usually not all that, but Arcane makes good stories. They make unique stories. It's got a cool premise with vampires instead of zombies and all that. The game has so much potential, right? So let's not get out of pocket and be a fair weather fan to have this game turn into a Quantum Break or a Rise or a Recore, where this game will not see the light of day again. Give it time. Take our L. Express our grievance, because this is not cool. But do not start putting this game in the grave before the game is even out, to turn this into something to where we won't even see the potential of seeing this game actually grow into being a true good franchise. Don't do that. Don't start that. Let's not start that. We'd had enough of that on the Xbox One era. We had plenty of that. Plenty of that. And that needs to stop. Okay. Halo Infinite still scored an 87 Metacritic. Absolutely. Because it was great when it launched. It was the season one that was then when it went. And then until November of last year, when they started kicking back in gear. Now I can be happy to say that Halo Halo Infinite is a pleasure to play again. Because matter of fact, I'm finna get back into it so I can finish my season, because I was over here trying to last night get my season 2 for COD, trying to finish the season 2 for COD. So, and I'm now going to jump back on Halo and then get back on Forspoken and all that stuff. And kind of be bored. Hopefully the story will get better. It's not. I love the combat in Forspoken, but the story is kind of shaky, Jack. Anyway, but let me keep reading this. He says, "How do you blame management for a studio not being able to run a game?" And see, that's what I'm saying. Like that's that bullshit. I don't like that. That was some Stan talk. Like, man, take that on over to those people out there that are fair weather Xbox fans. We don't need to hear that garbage over here. Some of these dudes can't even change a light bulb, but they out here blaming management, right? Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, they over here having somebody tell them what to do, but then they want to come on here and start talking about what they can manage. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop that. Be upset about the situation. Nobody's going to argue with that. The optics is not good. The timing is absolutely horrendous. Xbox, what's going on here? Arcane, what? Come on, get it together. Jazzy Noof, now if they delay Redfall last minute, know that the fake out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see them doing it. Let it come out. Prove your product. Like, make us understand that your product is better than this frame per second talk. Do that. Have your game come out and present itself at a light that is like, man, you know what? I wish this was 60 frames. It'd be so much better. But man, this game is fire. Hot firecracker fire. Like, that's all that needs to be proven. You know what I'm saying? Of course, bugs is in every game, so I don't want to hear about bugs unless it's horrendously just break. And now since you got this game at 30 frames, it better be a smooth 30 frames. It better not be doing the hammer dance. I bet my character that I want to pick is the dude with the lightning. Bro better not be in his yellow jacket over here doing the hammer dance. You know what I'm saying? Go, oh. He can't, bro. You can't. So make sure that that's solid, right? So, let the game speak for itself. If you delay the game, then of course it's going to be fake outrage wins, because it's something to say it's an L, but to go out and say, well, delay the game and to do this and to do that. And I know that I just said, like, this could be another scenario like Halo Infinite, which needed to be delayed. But if they got faith into their product and they stay on it, because that was the problem with Halo Infinite, is that whoever made that was a management issue. Once they left for Christmas and then came back and then all hell broke loose, and then they had to scramble to try to get it right, and then season 1 was absolutely trash, then that's a problem. And I don't see Arcane doing that. I think that they got their plan. They got everything ready to go on that aspect. It's just that, it's going to be 60 frames per second. So I don't know. Rain, he said, John, everyone hit that like. Yeah, hit the like button. I'm about to get the hell out of here. I've been talking for damn near 2 hours. I'm sorry, guys. I was only able to do, and I got to get ready to go here in about 30 minutes. I'm tripping. Anyway, he said, he says, ponies will die on a hill defending PlayStation. Bro, like I said, this is the Xbox situation. Yes, because they fought. Yes. Bonnie Ross was shout out to Bonnie Ross. A lot of people wanted to put the blame on her. Nah, man, stop that. Anyway, Jazzy Doof, then Xbox has no games start to show up. Bro, like that. Don't let the game come out. Let it prove to us that the game is bigger than the 4K 30. At this point, that's all you have to do. Like, if you delay this game, which, like I said, if they do, okay, cool. How long will it be delayed? Then by this time, if it's delayed before Final Fantasy 16 come out, I mean after Final Fantasy 16 come out, then there's a whole nother crazy narrative about, well, Xbox didn't have nothing but High Five Rush and all, just bring the game out. It's too late now. It's too late. Bring the game out. Show it, prove it, let us see it what it is. Let them convince us that this game is better than what's going on right now. Like, none of us has played it, just a few people, and I agree with J-Rock on that. For the people that's been standing behind this game, that's been defending it, saying that they played it, said this game is great, don't be quiet now. Get your ass out there, start defending it now. Start defending it now. Now is the time to really start defending it. Say that you're disappointed about this information, but trust me, this game is going to be nice. Don't be flaky about it now. Don't do that. I've talked about them guys defending Forspoken, and none of them didn't really buy it. Only just a few. They have they can manage how many times Jim Ryan does a deep down at the Sony private parties. Oh, don't do that. He said before, he says I'm picking the girl in Redfall. Are you picking the girl in Redfall? Yeah. No, she looked dope. The lightning guy, I like throwing lightning and stuff. So that's why I want to got a guy, and then he can do some disappearing stuff. So did they forget about Forspoken, bro? For broken, y'all guys are bad. He said, yep, just like that, bro. Like, anyway, forget it. Anyway, all right, man. I do got to get out of here. Like I said, I got water aerobics. You know what I'm saying? You seeing Slim Mega popping up here? You know what I'm saying? Because it's water aerobics, baby. Got that back surgery, and now water aerobics, man. I love water aerobics. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And then, boy, there's some nice looking women out there too. Now, there's not just old women out there. There's so let's just say that. So I can get out there. I'll be out in my water doing my swimming, yeah. And then you know what I'm saying. And then some of them hot ones come out there. I'm like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying. Give me more motivation. Anyway, let me stop that for my wife jumps on me. All right. Your quality shows why your quality of choice was the right choice for now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you guys for coming to stop it through. I do appreciate it. I know that there's going to be plenty of people talking about this throughout the week. Xbox. Yeah, if it's true that Ghostwire Tokyo is not performing well on the Xbox, as somebody was telling me earlier. God dang it. Holy moly. Yeah, it's a bad week starting off. Bad start off to the week, Jack. So we got it. You know what I'm saying? We got to turn this puppy around, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. My last point before I get out of here. I got 4 minutes, so I just gotta ask you guys this, please, in the chat before I go. Now, because I was saying for the meta, for which I don't care about the meta, but for gaming purposes and politics, I was saying the game could be a 77 to an 88. Now, after this news, because they're going to get docked for not having that 60 frames per second. They're going to get docked for that. There's no question. Where do you put the meta? People, right now, put it in the chat. I'm putting mine right now where they're going to put it at. They're going to put it right here. This is what they're going to give it. Hold on, let me put mine. That's where I'm going to put mine right here. So let me know in the chat. Please let me know. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat right now. Let me see them. What's the meta going to be now? I say 74. They're going to drop it at least 5 points. So I was saying a 77 at the least. So if they drop it 5 points from that, then it's going to be less than that. But he said that PlayStation fragrance, bro, for broken Mega. Stop that. Forspoken is not a bad game. It's not worth no $70. No, it's not a bad game. But but for Square Enix or Luminous or whoever was the publisher behind it, I think it was Square Enix, right? To present that game as the same quality as a Final Fantasy title. The only Final Fantasy title that I can see that's on the same is Crisis Core. And Crisis Core is an old remake that's not well, so it's not well done. It's a good game, great game, but it's not pretty. Forspoken has its moments where it looks really pretty, and then it has its moments where it doesn't. And then, but the story has some potential, and then the story kind of drops, and then it's a game that I appreciate because it's a new title. Of course, the protagonist, I love that, having a person of color in there as the main protagonist, but the game was not worth $70. It's not worth $70, not at all. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to keep on sending you guys gameplay of it until I beat it, so you can see it. So I'll start working back on that coming up this week. So 77, 88, you got Cletus, 69 meta. God dang, Cletus was just sitting there waited. Woo! Okay, we got a 80. Dark, you over here being I think you being kind, but I know my boy Loke is over here. He was saying 75 or less. He was over there being bad about it. All right, so 69, 88. Woo, okay. 77. He says it was 720p, Beggar. Oh my God. No. I'm playing it on PC. I'm playing Forspoken on PC. So I got all the bells and whistles on that puppy. So, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, don't forget there was a super chat. Damn it. My bad. Sorry. Drawn JT, TJ. Sorry. Let me get this. He says, there is no excuse. Forza Motorsport 7 is 4K 60. I don't want to discredit racers because racers are just as important as any other genre of game. But I honestly think that there's it's more technical with a game like what we're going to see with Redfall overall. But I don't want to discredit Forza. I don't want to discredit any racer because they got to put a lot of work and time into it, and it's 4K. But I get your point. I just think that this game might be a little bit more demanding in certain things. Cleo said 84. Let's go. All right, that's what I'm talking about, gamers out there. Have some faith. Have some faith in Arcane. You know what I'm saying? They saying we're gonna drop it, and you gonna like it. We're just disappointed by this news at this time. That's all. But let's go. All right, everybody. If you like the video or the stream, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the quest for $5K. We getting there. We getting close. Also, check out the GRG podcast every Friday night, 8 p.m. We might go a little bit later, about like maybe at the latest about 8:15. Because of trying to make sure to get everything, all the ducks in a row and all that. But check us out on Friday nights. That's 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And then where Loke, he says he's from Mozambique. He says it's like 2 a.m. out there, but he's from Wakanda, Texas, so it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 p.m. Central Time. Anyway, and then also the next podcast tomorrow night on Xbox 448 channel with 7 p.m. Central Time. You know what I'm saying, 8 p.m. Eastern. Go check us out over there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty wild. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. So you guys have a good one. And I didn't have Fight Night Sunday this Sunday because it was Easter. I kind of was like, I was telling people that I was going to have Fight Night, but then I was like, damn, it's Easter. And then I didn't get home until late. So I was like, well, let me just start working on some mods for DOA. So anyway, everybody have a good one. Appreciate you guys coming through, man. This week is going to be you say GRG gonna be 4 hours? Nah, bro. We ain't doing no 4-hour podcast, man. We gonna do 2.5 to 3 hours at max. So if you gonna be filthy, then you better be filthy within them 3 hours max. We out of here. Everybody have a good one. Peace, man.